Not only is this going to be my least viewed video of all time, this is probably going to be the least read book in the entire history of Goosebumps. And that's really sad, because this book is not bad, like, period. It's not because it sucks, it's not because it looks like, I mean, it kind of does vary, depending on person. I think the cover's fine, but it's definitely not intriguing, but it's not because it's the most awful looking cover of all time. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it's not because nobody wants to read it, it's just like, nobody really cares. It kind of makes people turn away when they see this cover. I know Michael doesn't really like the cover all too much, or at least, understands that this cover is not really a good Goosebumps cover. It really does turn you away from the book. I don't know if that's just me or something, but yeah, I can kind of agree. But it's also because this book is just not talked about, period. There's, like, nobody talking about this book, so nobody really knows anything about it, which sucks. Or really, knows much to even pick it up or want to grab it in the first place to read it. And yeah, that's just really sad. So, going into this review, I'm just going to say it flat out, that is not fucking deserved for this book. It's actually really good. So, yeah, let's get into the actual review now. Enough for the blurb. Oh wait, there is no blurb, because I fucking hate these books because they don't have no fucking blurbs, and pissing me off. Anyways, yeah, Series 2000 don't have blurbs, so let's talk about the book from memory. We have this boy, he's rich as fuck. Okay, he's absolutely filthy fucking rich. And his dad is a horror movie maker. So, he's going down to the studio, and he has to take the role of a kid because the kid is sick or something. And yeah, lots of scary stuff just happens to this kid, and it's all practical jokes done by his dad. Until they become very real. And that's where I'll leave off. So this is another, like, practical joke-esque story, only it's father and son. And we have rich kids. Yeah, interesting concept. Might not turn a lot of people onto the story, but let me tell you, this book is worth your time. Now, originally I had this one pretty low in my entire Goosebumps ranking. And yeah, whilst it's still not very, very high either compared to a lot of others, it's still solid, like really solid. And I'm not going to give a rating yet, but of course, I will highly recommend this book to folks who want to get into Series 2000 and who really like Are You Terrified Yet? Now that book has some similarities to this one because there's a certain twist in that book that may or may not be also a part of this book. Let's just say that. And yeah, if you're a fan of that book, I strongly recommend you pick up this book. You might love it as well. And yeah, I personally found this even better than that book, surprisingly. So let's get into the upsides. So what did I love about this book? Well, now we're into spoilers. For those who have read it, I think we can all agree that the supernatural aspect of the book is pretty much non-existent, obviously. There is no super scary villains, there's no supernatural threats, it's all jokes. The entire book is jokes. But it's done in the same way Are You Terrified Yet is, where it's kind of good, It's not terrible like You Can't Scare Me kind of was, in a lot of people's eyes at least. I still like it a lot, it's just like, I can definitely see the issues with it now. I lowered the score, but this is like Are You Terrified Yet, where it's done good. It's not in the same way, of course, it's more or less like revenge, which is weird, but I kind of really like it, we have this father and son characters, and the father likes to terrorize his son, and he is sick of it. He absolutely hates it, and the father goes really far, to the point where the kid's crying on his own fucking birthday, so, yeah, terrible father character. We'll get to him in a minute, because, he's pretty much a downside. He's kind of rough. But it kind of picks up in the second half of the book, because this is actually split into two parts, one of those other, kinds of Series 2000 books in. Yeah, it's done well. I think that second part is really good. It reminds me of Very Terrified Yet, and only it's revenge story now, and of course nothing is actually supernatural, it's just a kid playing jokes on his father now until his father's scared. And in the end, his father doesn't even realize it's actually fake, so that's what makes it even better. Yeah, I really like that part of the book. Or that aspect, sorry. And another thing I have to say is this book was scary, even if nothing supernatural was actually going on. There was some scary moments before you found that out, of course. I think that one of the scenes involving, I think, a dressing room earlier, or like around halfway through the book during the birthday party, I think that was good, really, really good. I thought it was actually decently scary, and adds to the father's downsides a bit. I like how the upsides are adding to the downsides, because this is ruining the father character. Anyways, yeah, I like that scene. I like some scenes that go on in the actual Scream School part of the book, where we go to film the Scream School, like, movie. Oh, the 7th one or something, because there's apparently a franchise called Scream School, and there's this killer. Yeah. Anyways, fantastic scary moments. I really liked them all. Another thing I gotta commend this book for is the ending. The ending adds on to the Are You Terrified Yet aspect of the book. It's a nice ending, and yeah, it's good. I can't say much more. As always, the book has great writing, it has great pacing, I think. It's got a good plot in general, really, really good. And I think there's some decent characters thrown throughout, and yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing really much else to expand the book upon for upsides. I think the book is just really solid, and you definitely need to pick it up. Let's move on to the downsides. So what did I not like about the book? Well, the father character. Now, it kind of adds, and this adds to the upsides, like I said, because he has his moments that are really good involving the scary bits, because he orchestrated it like Jimmy in Better Call Saul. And, it's just like, he's a dick. It's hard to like the father character. He's an actual dickhead. He fucking sucks. I mean, he does realize it, that he was kind of being a little bitch, but it kind of sucks, but it also adds to the upsides, because once again, we have that very satisfying ending of revenge on the father character for doing all those mean tricks. It's really tough to say he's a bad part of the book, but he kind of is. He does bring it down a lot. He just fucking sucks. It's kind of like the Camp Cold Lake situation, where the main character did something that's a little cruel, at the same time cool or interesting for the book. I'll get to reviewing that in like July or some shit, you know, summer months, but still, the father character just flip-flops, you know. That's really the only thing I don't like about the book. Of course, it's not going to get a perfect 10 out of 10, but it's also not great enough to even get a 9 out of 10, so I'll just say that. And yeah, let's get to the rating. So what would I rate this book out of 10? Well, this book is really, really solid. I think this is a shouldn't be slept on book, and I'm just sad that it's so overlooked in the franchise, because it's really solid. It really is. I'm going to give it a very strong and high 8.5 out of 10. A little better than Are You Terrified Yet, in my opinion, of course. Yeah, it's got some aspects that I loved about that book thrown in here. Once again, I thought that was really good. It's got a decent twist. It's got very, very satisfying endings as well. It's got a nice father character, and also terrible, because he adds to the book in a lot of ways, and also gets rid of some good stuff, because he's an asshole. Anyways, yeah, there's just lots of great moments, lots of great stuff for this book to offer, and it just should not be slept on. It's probably because of this cover, and also because nobody talks about it, and it fucking sucks that nobody does, because it's really good. It's really good. I strongly recommend this one. But that is my review for Scream School. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I strongly recommend, like I said, to check out this book, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.